What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. Co-op.com, get ready to sign up. Abuamerican.com, check it out. So, back to this conversation, man, I'm asking. Back to this conversation with these mahars and the Arabs and the brothers disparaging sisters for low mahars. And that this is an Arab thing. You know, I'm going to call BS on this. Because, you know, the more I think back, the more it doesn't make sense. And my entire thing is again, I'm going to go back to my original narrative in general. Yeah, there might be some specific individuals that do this, but I think in general, this is like just sisters trying to act like they're not the culprits in trying to squeeze brothers for money, as much money as possible. And then they're trying to put it on the brothers, but it's actually them. I'm going to go back to that. It's y'all sisters just trying to squeeze brothers. And then this was just a really slick ploy to blame brothers for y'all's BS of wanting just extra high mahars just because. And I'll tell you why I think this is BS. Because I lived in Qatar, I lived in Saudi, spent some time in Kuwait, UAE. And you know what brothers would do when they couldn't afford a wife? They'd fly to Egypt. They'd fly to Morocco, especially Morocco, and they'd get married. Now, when this is all coming back to me. Why did they do it? Because it was easier. Because it was cheaper. They spent money, but not the money that sisters in the Khalij were requesting of them. Their highest expenses were the flight tickets multiple times a year to go see their wives. And they said that still was cheaper than paying the mahar for these sisters in the weddings and all this other type of stuff. So the more I think back to this, the more I'm like, yo, this is just y'all, man. Y'all really stick with these narratives and like blame shifting for y'all's BS. I'm calling BS on it. Because I've met multiple brothers that were married to Moroccans, many times as a second wife also, yes. Y'all playing games, man. Y'all acting like dudes, don't talk to each other. Nah, the story don't add up. The more I think about it, the more the story doesn't add up. If this is the case, why do they go to Morocco and marry these sisters? Many times bringing them back to the Khalij. Keeping them, secretly in an apartment somewhere or whatever else. Why? If your narrative is correct, why did they do this? It's not adding up. Yeah, just own it. Just own it. Just say y'all a bunch of greedy gits. Just say it. Just say, gold diggers. You're gold diggers. Just say it. I don't know if you're gold diggers or not. I don't care. I'm not really into the whole gold digger thing. I don't really care about that. But, I mean, let's just be honest here, man. It's like, why are we in denial about who and what we are? Stop. The worst person to lie to in the world is yourself. We should just stop lying to ourselves here, sisters. You're greedy. All right, own it. If you don't see a problem, carry on. If you see a problem, then fix it. But you have to recognize it first. This whole denial, blame shifting thing, man, I wish I could go through life like that. It wouldn't work for me, especially as a huge black male. Nobody's going to blame shift them. Nobody's going to accept that from me. Nobody's going to accept excuses from me. But y'all women, man, y'all been given passes so many times. Y'all just get to just say whatever. And then no one really challenges you on you. And you almost pulled the okie doke on me. You almost had me. I'm getting old, but my memory hasn't failed me that much. The reason why I didn't really go critically into it, because it doesn't really matter to me. I don't really care, But then it's just like, it kind of popped in my head because my video came out today and the comments popped up. And I was just like, hold up, wait a minute. So my own video triggered some memories. And I'm not going to put a whole lot of mental energy into this. Y'all just do what you want to do. I don't care. If it works for you and you're going to get married and you're going to stay married, then do it. Okay, fine. But I highly doubt it. Because we've shown the statistics that high cost marriages, weddings, parties and all that stuff in marriages, they don't last. Statistically, they just don't last. And we're seeing in reality, when we look at these marriages, they don't last. Knock yourself out. Have fun. I don't care. But I'm going to tell my brothers don't pay it. That's what I'm going to spread. That's my word. Don't pay it. because you're going to end up spending a whole bunch of money with a woman who don't want to do anything, and you're going to end up with a broken marriage really quickly, because the stats, they generally prove it. And those exceptions, they don't prove the norm, or they don't disprove the norm. So just own it, sisters.